Hello, hello. Say hi to me as you're hopping on. How are you guys doing? Hey, Casey. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Danica. Calgon, please take me away. Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of Calgon, so you might want to go stock up on that shit. Sorry, Kelly. I'm like moving in a little bit of slow-mo today. My body's needing like lots of rest and recovery from our last 3 days in up north. And I'm noticing how slowly I'm moving today, like through molasses. And at the same time, I'm preparing myself for, I'm doing combo this weekend. So I'm preparing myself for that as well by running myself through a series of deep cycle treatments in Healy. So I think that's also happening. I'm releasing a bunch of toxins. I ran my day 1 deep cycle last night, and I just started day 2. 2 lives in a row. Yeah, team live and now this live. I totally thought I missed this. Hey Faith, hey Lucy, hey Tammy, hey Alexis, hey Talisa. Haven't seen me live in a while. I haven't been live in a while. Hey Amy, it has been a minute. How are you? Hey Chelsea. So combo or cambo, depending on where you are in the world, is a plant medicine. It's actually an animal medicine, but it's in that whole kind of plant medicine category. But it's not hallucinogenic, it's cleansing in nature. So it's the secretions of an African tree frog that are poisonous, and they burn several holes in your skin, like little holes, and then they put the poison on, and it activates cleansing your system. And so I am going to do that with a bunch of people on, including Sean. I won't disclose the rest of the people that will be going in case they don't want that information out on the interwebs, but so we're going to be doing that on Sunday. And so I'm going into like the rest of this week really like mentally, physically, spiritually preparing myself for that experience. I'm going to do it. And I mean, it's perfect timing with this live stream, really, and like what I'm going to be talking about here. Like, it's I'm doing it to cleanse, certainly, but I'm also going in to like really heal my body. But there's a lot of healing that needs to be done on the planet right now, and so this is one of the things that I'm doing to kind of do my part. And I'm definitely going to be like recording as much of it as I can. We can't video during the ceremony, but I'll definitely be sharing my experiences. I'm going to do that in my, because of censorship here, obviously on Facebook, I'm going to be doing it in my free Telegram channel, the Wealth Witch channel. So if you have not joined that Telegram channel, definitely do that. It's where I kind of share the majority of the uncensored, real, raw, uncensored, unfiltered Leah Steele stuff. And as we're moving into some of the predictions and things that I'm going to be talking about here on this call, a lot of the updates that I'm giving on that and a lot of the information that I'm giving on that is going to be shared in that Telegram channel. I'm like really feeling myself stepping back into that really prophetic space that I was in at the end of last year. And just the more things happen to me, the more I'm noticing that I'm back in that place. And I've been wanting to kind of share some of this stuff. It's been dropping in for the last month about. I've been wanting to share some of this stuff in that Telegram channel, and I haven't yet. It's like the timing just hasn't been right. I'm wondering why it's so dark in here. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the lights on. That's a little better. It's like, I feel like I'm sitting in the dark. I'm talking to you guys in the dark. So I've been wanting to share, but the timing hasn't quite felt right. And I know that that is because there was more that needed to come through. And that's why I had not started sharing. And, you know, I think the other thing is I've been really, I've been a bit apprehensive about sharing some of the stuff. And, you know, a big part of me is, first of all, I'm very, very careful on Facebook about what and how I share because of the censorship that happens here. And so we are going to do as much, I'm going to do as much disclosure as I can on this live stream, or as I feel comfortable, or as it comes through. And of course, Laura pops on right as I'm talking about disclosure. Hey, Laura. Synchronicities. So I'm going to talk about as much as I feel called to share on this live stream, and just know that I'm definitely going to be using that vehicle to share more real-time information that I'm receiving. And there's the link to the Telegram channel. So if you haven't already joined that, it's my free channel. It's on, you have to download the Telegram app if you don't already have it. I don't know how you wouldn't have it if you were in my world, though. I feel like everyone communicates with me there. But definitely join the channel if you haven't already, because that's really where I'm gonna, you know, start sharing this information that's sort of coming to me now on a daily basis. And it feels like, there's my nose itching. So yeah, that's true. It feels like it's really ramping up right now. So I'm gonna just rewind a little bit, and everyone that's hopping on, say hi to me. If you haven't already said hi, would definitely love to know that you're here and say hi. So I wanna rewind to September, about September-ish of last year, because I think it's important to set the stage for, you know, why I'm here on this live stream, literally saying, hey, remember when I was shouting from the rooftops last fall that something was coming and you needed to get prepared? Remember that? Well, I can absolutely tell you that the people that heeded that advice are thriving right now. And a lot of people didn't, and they're really struggling right now. And we've got more of the same coming. And so I love it when everybody's saying hi to each other. Hi, everyone. Hi. So we've got more of the same coming, and we're getting ready to move into the phase 2 of this cycle that started the end of last year. And so I want to rewind to that, and then we'll kind of move forward from there to where we are right now. And again, I'm going to share as much as I feel, I don't want to say safe, because it's not about being safe, but as much as I feel like I can share here without having interference, without it being censored. I'm gonna share. And then if you want more of this, and you want more of the day-to-day of me giving you the information that I'm being given and that I'm receiving, then you're gonna want to definitely come over and join me in the Telegram channel, because 1, it's free, and 2, it's not controlled by any of the people that are the players in the global financial elite. So it's a safe, uncensored, raw place that I can share and feel okay to do that. I do just want to name briefly here at the beginning of this that there's a part of me that really struggles with stepping into this space, really stepping into, many of you that work with me one-on-one, all of you that work with me one-on-one know the incredible connection I have to the divine. You know about my prophetic gifts. You know about my ability to sort of tap into source and receive information about what's happening in real time with my clients, with myself, with the world. And it's something that generally is reserved for people that work with me on a one-on-one basis. And partially that's because it's uncomfortable, and it's uncomfortable for me to be out in public sharing it. And, you know, I definitely have that part of me that's like, I don't want people to think I'm crazy. And, you know, but the sense of urgency last fall, as we were moving into fall of last year, the sense of urgency that was being impressed upon me, was that I needed to share, that I needed to come out, and I needed to start preparing people for what was coming. And as uncomfortable as that was, I did. And so, you know, from a period of about September to December, I was really like trying to, and sometimes from a place of a lot of frustration, trying to impress upon people that something really big was coming and that our entire reality as we knew it was about to shift. And you know, how this works with me is that sometimes I'm given specifics and sometimes I'm given generalizations, but I just began speaking about needing to get your house in order. And really needing to opt in on your spiritual growth and your development, because something big was coming. And obviously, you know, I'm not going to go into all the things that I said. Like, there are some places that you can go to review that information. One is just my Facebook page. You can literally go back to like September through December on my Facebook page, and there's lots and lots of live streams where I'm talking about this. I did a yearly wealth forecast in the very end of December. That a lot of that has already come to fruition that we talked about in that wealth forecast. I haven't actually gone back and watched it, but I literally get messages like once a week from people being like, oh my gosh, and you said this, and oh my gosh, and you said that. So the next round of messages is now coming through, right? The next round of the next sense of urgency, and it's so being impressed upon me right now that I have to get out here and I have to begin talking to you about it again. And it doesn't really matter if it makes me uncomfortable or not. And, you know, while I had more specifics in the fall of last year about what I knew was going to happen, I was really apprehensive about fully disclosing the information that I'd been given. I only did that to a very select few. And it was primarily clients that were working with me in my high-end mastermind that I gave all the information that I was getting to, because I felt like spiritually, energetically, emotionally, mentally, they could process it and they would get it. And it wasn't something that I thought that the general public was prepared for. And I think I was correct in going about it that way. I think the time for holding back and handling the collective with kid gloves is over, because I think that if what we've seen to date this year has been a storm, there's a tornado about to hit. You know, if what we've seen up until this point has been, you know, a car accident, we're about to see two semi trucks carrying gas run into each other and explode on the highway. Like, the time for being careful and the time for protecting people's mental and emotional states, it has passed, I believe. And again, like, this is Facebook, so we're going to do as much as we can here, and definitely going to step into that space. My Telegram channel, which, you know, I do because I love it and I love sharing my life, but it's really feeling like its bigger purpose right now is to share this information so that people can really be prepared. And, you know, a lot of what we're going to be talking about sounds very doom and gloom-esque. And I do want to just say to you that a lot of people would look at what's happened in the world this first 6 months of the year as very doom and gloom. What I can tell you is the people that prepared last fall when I told them to prepare are thriving right now. They are thriving energetically, they're thriving spiritually, they're certainly thriving financially. And it's been night and day for the people that, you know, took those warnings seriously, and not even the warnings, but just took the the prophetic nature of those live streams seriously and said, you know what, I'm going to trust Leah and I'm going to go all in on, yeah, I do need to show up fully in purpose right now. I do need to step into the work that I'm meant to be doing in the world. I do need to step away from my perceived safety, stability, and security and my attachment to the things that I feel like are, you know, the things in my life that could never change. And I need to embrace whatever this is that's coming. Those people I have seen step into elevated states of consciousness in all areas of their lives. So the time is now again. And it's the same call, but actually with a greater sense of urgency. I'm trying to read the comments and then I popped myself out of the live stream. There we go. I'm just going to read a couple of these before I dive in deeper. I was talking about what you said last fall earlier today and how you were right. I mean, look, I wish I wasn't right. Is it aliens? Can you please say you see aliens too? Well, it's a portion of it, right? And I'm actually probably not going to discuss the, that's probably a portion of this that I will save for the Telegram channel. The information that I'm getting around what's going to happen with disclosure of, God, it's just like the words aren't even right? It's not aliens, it's not extraterrestrial, it's not, I'd say other planetary species is, I guess, what I'll say. I do believe that there's disclosure coming about that, and I do believe that that's going to happen before the end of the year, most likely. If it doesn't happen before the end of the year, it's going to be because another major timeline shift happens. But I believe that that is where we're headed as of right now and today in this timeline that we're on. I absolutely believe that is part of what's coming. I'm going to talk more about that in Telegram though, because I feel like that's it's more of a space to do that. Because here's the thing, there's a greater force, there's a greater energetic force that needs to be discussed that's happening in the collective. And then there's all these smaller pieces of what's happening. And it's like all the smaller pieces make up the greater whole, but I really don't actually believe that the public as a whole or the collective as a whole needs to know everything that's going on to be prepared. And it's like I don't know necessarily that they need to buy into all of the information that I'm receiving in order to prepare themselves, if that makes sense. So it's like, you know, I can give you the guidelines for what I feel like you really need to do over the next 60 days to prepare yourself for what's coming. And you don't have to believe that there's going to be disclosure about aliens to do that and to benefit from that. For me right now, it's about being mentally prepared for what is coming. And as if we're mentally prepared, then whatever it is that's disclosed, we don't need to, it's like we don't actually need to know what the disclosure is going to be to prepare ourselves for what's coming. We need to do the actions to prepare ourselves. So some of you, that's going to be enough. You're going to say, okay, she predicted what's happening now in the fall, and you know, I don't know that I believe or buy into everything she's saying, but she did predict some of this, and I've seen evidence of some of the people that followed her predictions, you know, are now living completely different, amazing lives than what was happening before. And so I'm going to trust her on this, and I'm going to start doing some of these things that I need to do to prepare, right? And some of you are going to be like, no, I actually want to know everything. I want to be completely prepared. I want to know what's coming. And for those of you that are like in that place of like, I want to know what's coming, come join the Telegram channel, because that's where I'll be discussing the majority of that. So I've dropped the link a couple of times. You can definitely just come join me over there. You have to download the Telegram app or download Telegram on your desktop, and then you can access the channel and you just join. It's free. So I'm just gonna read a couple. So that just happened. Clicked a link, dipped out, and joined. Now I'm back. Amazing. Just reading some of the comments. Nadine says, I realize watching you, we've met for the past 2 days. I felt strongly that there's another dimension is about to unfold. I feel like I'm slipping. Thank you for the validation. Yeah, so that's absolutely happening. 2020 equals no more pussyfooting around. Right, no more kid gloves, no more pussyfooting around. Even if the pace is like a turtle, I am and have been preparing. That's so important, you guys, because and I'm just like, I love, this is why I read the comments in these live streams, right? This is so important. Some of you are able to jump into this with both feet and just execute and shift your consciousness and timeline jump and be in a state of preparedness. And that's amazing. And others of you do things differently. You move more slowly. You take more calculated steps. And that's okay too. I want to let you guys know that any forward momentum that you're making, it's going to compound. So just keep moving forward. Certainly there are those of you that I believe are here and meant to step into leadership roles over the coming months because of what's going to be developing and unfolding. You guys are going to feel a greater sense of urgency. You guys are going to be like me. You're going to feel the pressure. It's literally like I feel like I'm in a pressure cooker right now. And it's like the top is just about to blow off, right? If you know that feeling, like I would love, if you've been feeling this and you haven't known what it was, I would love for you to just comment and be like, yes, I've been feeling it, right? Like I've been feeling the pressure cooker. Those of you that are feeling that sense of urgency, those of you that are feeling that extreme constriction or that extreme pressure coming from the collective, like you are here to lead this next wave. We need you. We need you to fully fucking step into your purpose and the work that you're meant to be doing here in the world. We need you out there sharing Healy. Like we need you contributing to the overall well-being of the collective consciousness more now than we've ever needed you to do it before in your life. The time is now. There's never been another time like right now. And the actions that we take and the choices that we make right now are going to determine certainly the outcome of our lives, but also the outcome of the result of this sort of war that's being waged for the human soul right now on this planet. So the actions and the decisions and the choices that you're making right now are affecting the collective consciousness of this planet at such a greater level than you can even imagine. And yeah, definitely tag people in this live stream that you feel like need to hear it. And yes, you get another chance to pull your heads out of your asses, which is a great way to put it. Star Nations, yeah, so Star Nations is another great, Star Families, Star Nations, there's, whatever. We are not the only life form in the universe or in the universes or in the multiverse, right? We are not the only life form, and I think we can all agree upon that. And to think that our governments don't know that is frankly ignorant and quite silly. So it's, yeah. It's a 4-year foundations of everything going to be continued to be rocked in bigger ways. Absolutely. And yeah, so for those of you, Chelsea saying she had a dream the other night that an alien implanted something in her arm. Like, many people are having this. I'm getting messages from so many people that are having dream state encounters with beings from other planets. This is the preparedness, you guys. This is us being prepared. This is them preparing us for what's coming. And for some of you, that's your origins, your other planetary origins. It's your family that's coming here, right? So it's not something that we need to be afraid of. You are an immortal soul living inside a human vessel. And the origins of that immortal soul and the experiences that that immortal soul has had are infinite in nature. So it's important to remember that when we get stuck in our very, very limited perspective of this human experience that we're having here on this planet, right? That there's an immortal soul that's residing inside this body, and this has not been the only experience that this soul has had. This soul has had experiences not only here on this planet, but on other planets and in other dimensions, and in other galaxies and in other universes and in other states of consciousness and in other states of being. And just because you cannot remember and recall all of that does not mean that your immortal soul, just because your human mind cannot remember and recall all of that, doesn't mean that your immortal soul does not recall every bit of that. And it doesn't mean that you are not still connected to those people, places, beings, things that immortal soul has experienced prior to this human experience that we're living here on Earth. So yes, dreams of beings from other planets, completely normal right now, happening to a lot of people, happening to my son Jack on a regular basis right now, happening to me. I've had several dreams of like interplanetary contact stuff over the last several months. And the other thing I want to say to you is, like, if this is happening to you for the first time, it's really jarring and it can be very alarming. And I want you to know, like, because you are an immortal soul, you have the right of free will and choice, and nothing can harm you when you are aware and knowledgeable and actively setting boundaries around what you are energetically available for. And that's a really important part of this preparedness in general. It is the time to practice discipline in your personal practices like you've never practiced before. It is the time to explore, energetic boundaries, protection work, and not from a place of lack or scarcity or fear, from a place of, I want to be prepared, from a place of, I want myself and my family to be protected, from a place of, I want to step fully empowered into the being in the consciousness that I have control over here on this planet, and I do not want to be taken advantage of any longer. And so really reinforcing those beliefs and those boundaries around what you're willing to receive and what you're not is huge right now. So, if you take nothing away from this live stream, hopefully you will take away, okay, what is it? How do I want to move forward in this human existence? And if you are like, I think the majority of the beings on this planet, and you are not trusting your governments, and you are not trusting the news, and you're not trusting the information that you're being fed, you're probably in a state of no longer desiring to be manipulated. No longer desiring to be a pawn in a giant chess game. You get to choose to opt out of that. And you do that through setting energetic boundaries around external manipulation. So that, is one thing I think that in general for the world, the collective consciousness, the population at large, and I'm like really fascinated by how these numbers are dropping on the live stream. I'm like, are people just dropping off, or are we getting some interference? So I'd love for you guys to just send me some hearts if you can still see me in the videos coming through strongly. I'm gonna drink my very chunky green smoothie. Okay, cool, we're coming through strong, loud and clear, amazing. So this is the place where all beings on this planet, we can begin to make a difference in our lives. We can begin to take back our collective power, but certainly our individual power, by choosing to opt out of the manipulation, by asking for clarity from whoever it is that you pray to, right? It might just be yourself. It might be your higher self. It might be your divine immortal soul. It might be God, source, universe, all that is, whatever it is that you call it, but requesting and asking for clarity on a daily basis to be shown the things that you have been blinded to previously, to be shown and be given a clear understanding of the things that are happening on our planet right now both physically and energetically. And to have those things exposed to you. But developing a practice around requesting that clarity is really important. So whether you're doing that through meditation, or you're doing that through journaling, or you're doing that through conscious parallel realm visitation, like the time is now to really go all in those areas. You know, for those of us that are involved in Healy, and I'm certainly going to talk about Healy at the end of this live stream, because I really truly believe that it is a tool that is here to help with everything that's happening right now. But gaining that greater sense of self-assuredness and self-awareness that comes with running frequency programs, right? I think all of us that are inside this Healy organization right now we are tapped into another layer of collective consciousness that is actually part of what is protecting the collective at this time. So there's this whole collective field consciousness that is Healy, that is raising the collective consciousness and vibration of the planet, that collective is rippling out and helping the greater collective. You know, I think the other thing is, you know, many of you are having galactic or light language come through, and I know that that's really alarming. And so, you know, you know, in another day and age, and the people that are happening it to are like the most normal of all the people, right? And they're just like, oh my God, like how, like what is going on? What is happening in my life? And again, it's like, I don't think that we need to really read too much into it, other than it's just your soul waking your brain up, right? It's like your soul being like, hey brain, it's time for you to expand your capacity. I mean, we all know we're only using about 10% of our brain capacity at any given time, right? And so it's like, what's that other 90% doing? And when we have experiences like this, or when we're experiencing prophetic information coming through, it's not that I'm more special than anyone else. I just truly believe that it's my immortal soul is like, we have work on this planet that we need to do. So I'm going to wake up some dormant parts of your brain so that you have the ability to receive these messages and you receive this information, and then you have the ability to clearly communicate it to the people that need to hear it. And that remembering of a language that you spoke in a different time, or in a parallel time, or you know, as a being, a different type of being on a different planet, it's simply that, a remembrance. And it doesn't need to be so intimidating, but I understand that it can be quite jarring. I've been feeling the need to be anchored into my integrity and move with truth. Yeah, I mean, I think there is a big feeling of just not being able to deal with the bullshit anymore, right? That's happening on a collective level. Like we're irritated, we're irritable, we are tapping into the energy of bullshit much easier. It's like we've had this fog that's been lifted, and now we're just like, we're moving out of the place of blindly trusting into a place of distrust. And while that is chaotic, as we're seeing across the globe right now, and certainly in the United States, while that's chaotic, it's also what needs to happen for us to evolve. We cannot continue to just be following blindly a small elite group of people that are manipulating an entire planet. We cannot do that. The time for that is now over. I've been dreaming about rescuing people from a galactic war. It's nice to be on a Leah live. It's nice to have you, Talisha. I've been doing work in the parallels with Healy for a month. It's been crazy and so beautiful. Yep, we've got all the Healy warriors. Okay, do you think the frequencies we attune to are from the astral, like the technology you are wearing, Healy, is from outside our galaxy /influence? Oh, that's a really good question. So here's the thing with Healy, And I'm seeing it more and more and more. Actually, probably a perfect time to share this experience that we had on the boat this weekend to kind of give you an idea of when we're talking about communication with other beings, when we're talking about, I'm just going to give you a very real, very absorbable, digestible example of frequency and vibration and communication between different species of beings, two species of beings that are actually on this planet, and that it's totally acceptable that we would have this conversation. But I'm telling you this story to kind of impress upon you the greater potentiality of us communicating with vibration and frequency at this expanded level of the universe, right? Us and the universe, universes, galaxies, dimensions, however you want to look at it, and all of the above, right? So we were on a boat yesterday in Lavina with the leadership team from Healy, and we all had our Heelys, and we're filming some really amazing content for the portal that is that's launching on July 1st. And we've been working together, and when people that have Heelys get together, this thing called the Healy effect happens, and it is the collective consciousness that is Healy activating, and just the most amazing, beautiful, synchronistic things happen. So we were just coming off like these 2 epic days, like we had 2 amazing days together. And so yesterday morning we got up early to go swim with dolphins in the wild. And we get on this boat, and there are 8 of us. Okay, so there's 8 of us. We've all got our Heelys. We've all been running programs for several days, and we get on the boat and we're filming content and we're shooting, and we're out in the bay, and there's like all these boats out there, which is crazy right now because there's like nobody in Bali, but there was a lot of dolphin watching boats out there. And so we start, we see a pod of dolphins, and we start moving after them, and we start kind of chasing them, and a couple of people get in the water, and they've got these really cool like trapeze things that you hang on to, so that we're on a pontoon boat, and we're holding on to these trapeze style, they're like trapeze. They're like a trapeze kind of. So you hang on to them, and your body's in the water, and your face down, your head's in the water, you have a snorkel mask on, and you're like looking down into the ocean. So a couple people get on, and we see 2 dolphins, right? And so, or they saw 2 dolphins. There was a pod of dolphins, but the pod was swimming away. And so the boats are chasing. So we're literally like in this boat, and we go 12 miles from where we were, following these dolphins. And so we get to this point where we're just all sitting on the boat, and we're like, and I'm like, we should just run some frequency. Like, we've all been running our Heelys, whatever. And so Sean and I get our Heelys, and we sync up, and we both start running the Healy program being. And we just turn the Heelys on. We're not wearing them. We just turn them on. We drop them back in our bags. And some of the other people so we had the 2 camera people were on the other boat, and there were 6 of us on our boat. And so some of the other 6, we all start running our Heelys, right? And we just not wearing them because we're getting ready to hop in the water at any time when we see the dolphins. We all turn our Heelys on, we start running the frequencies, and the pod of dolphins that we're following turns around and comes back towards us. Not only does that pod of dolphins come towards us, 2 other pods come from either side to us, and literally they are swimming and playing all around our boat. There's all these other boats out there. They're not doing it to any other boat but our boat. And so we're getting in the water, and we're swimming with them in the wild, and we're looking down, and they're just playing, and they're frolicking, and at one point Max literally lets go of the trapeze. So we're moving the boat slowly at this point. But barely moving the boat, right? And at one point, Max just lets go of the trapeze, and he goes and he's swimming out in the ocean with the dolphins. He's got his GoPro. We literally captured all of this on film, so it's going to be in the videos that we're sharing in the platform, and I'm so excited about it. But he's literally out there swimming in this pod of dolphins who are coming up and out of the water, playing in a pod of dolphins in the wild. And the guy who was the skipper that was running our boat was like, I have been doing this for 30 years. His father started this business of going out and taking people to see the dolphins. So he's been in the boat since he was tiny. He's been in the business for 30 years. He was like, in 30 years, I have never seen this happen. I have never seen not only a pod of dolphin return once they were on their way out, return to come back to a boat, but 2 other pods come in where there's just hundreds of dolphins surrounding us. So that's the power of, on this planet, communicating. And we were, you know, as we were running the things, we were like sending love out to the dolphins. Like, we love you, come play with us, like come engage in our energy. Like we want to be around you. Like we were all collectively sending these intentions out into the field along with the frequency and the vibration. And magic happened. And this happens again and again and again and again inside the Healy effect. So this is why I know it is so powerful and so important in this raising of the collective consciousness, this device. And it's why, like, even if I wasn't making a ridiculous amount of money from being involved in this company, like I would still be sharing this device right now because it is changing lives that much. It is changing our collective that much. Okay, so the technology of Healy, we know scientifically that the technology of Healy is accessing the quantum field. I do not believe that the energy in the quantum field is only from beings on planet Earth. So I guess that was a very long story and now an explanation to address the question. What I believe is happening is that Healy frequencies create a greater connection between human being and immortal soul housed in this human vessel and the quantum field. And I believe that it is more than just human beings on planet Earth that are accessing the quantum field energy. So the device is a facilitator, if you will, of access of the quantum field. There's great comments in these in this live stream, so make sure you read through the comments in this live stream. I'm not going to touch on all of them, but there's some really good ones. I need to catch up on the quantum clear things. It's been huge. It's been a ride. Eyes wide open. Amazing, Lori. Oh, I just waved at somebody. Kelly's like, I get to feel this story again. I told it on our Healy team call this morning. I'm just reading the comments and then we're gonna talk more about what's coming in the world. If there's one piece of advice or big action point, what would you say? Get yourself mentally prepared for what is coming. Like, that is my biggest piece of advice right now. Get yourself mentally prepared for what is coming, because you and all of us, and I'm including myself in this because I know that, like, I've been on this journey and been being shown this stuff for a while now, and I still go through periods of like, oh my God, am I crazy? Like, where something happened to me yesterday that I was like, something that's so inexplainable. There's no explanation for it, and I'm still trying to process it and figure out what it was that happened. But if I had not been in a car with 3 other people that had had the experience, I would have been like, get me to a mental institution right now, because it is not possible that this thing that just happened. But they were all there, and they all experienced it too. So get yourself mentally prepared. In whatever way possible. And it's just like, I wish I could just give you one way to do that, but Question everything that you're seeing right now. Regardless of what your moral position is on anything that's happening in the world right now, question everything. Do not simply take for granted that people have your best intentions at heart or that you are being told the truth, especially if it is a government organization or a media outlet. And get mentally prepared, because what is coming is, you know, and I think like, I go back to this place of like, if 6 months ago, you would have told us that we would be living in this state right now where you couldn't go outside your house without wearing a mask, where there is no international travel, where people have been in lockdown for months in their homes, where a virus has effectively halted the global economy, you would be like, that's something from movies. That's a story from a movie. That is not the reality of what we could ever possibly be living on this planet. But it is our reality, and it is what's happening. And if you're like me, you probably wake up many days and go, was that all a dream? Was that a movie? Was that a show I watched on TV last night? And then have to have that moment of like, no, this is actually the world that we're living in. This is the reality. So if something that you had been conditioned through movies, entertainments, television shows, that you had been conditioned to believe could come to fruition, and could happen so quickly within weeks, right? That our entire existence as beings on this planet has shifted and changed. What else could happen of that magnitude? And what else have you been being desensitized to for years? What else could you say right now, there's no way that would happen? There's no way that would happen. It's not possible. That's the thing of movies and fairy tales. What else could be coming? And are you mentally prepared to deal with that thing when it gets here? I would say the majority of people on this planet are not prepared for what is coming. So get yourself mentally prepared. How do you do that? Well, you start questioning everything. You start really, really using your own deductive reasoning, your own brain, and you tap into your intuition. You tap into your own knowing. And if it doesn't feel right to you, I don't care who is telling you. I don't care if it's Jesus or Gandhi themselves. I mean, if Jesus just shows up on the planet again, right, and is like, hey, here's the deal. If that feels off to you, don't believe that shit. Learn to trust your intuition. Learn to tap into your own inner knowing. If something feels off, it's off. In this time period and in this period over the next 6 months, you need to trust yourself implicitly. Even in the stuff that I'm sharing with you, if something feels off to you in what I'm sharing with you, take what serves you, leave the rest, right? You don't have to buy into all of it. What feels right and true for you? And it doesn't matter who's telling you, right? Doesn't matter who's telling you that something is fine, that something's okay, that something will never happen, that something couldn't possibly be. If that doesn't feel right to you, trust yourself. So how do we trust ourselves? Well, we trust ourselves through hey, Soraya. I think you just joined, so you should definitely watch all the replay because there's epic other stuff at the beginning of this, but we are getting into the meat of it now. Also, this throat thing with me has been happening for 2 days where it's like I'm trying to talk and get stuff out and I'm like massive interference, coughing, bugs flying into my throat, like all kinds of like my throat trying to be repressed. Censored interference. Okay. Question everything. Get yourself mentally prepared. So meditation, right? Huge. If you have a Healy, gold cycle programs. gold level, base level Healy gold cycle programs, being, calm, release, like these programs, running these programs daily is preparing you in ways that you cannot even imagine right now, right? I'm running gold cycle programs every day. Those Nuno Nina gold cycle frequency programs, they are preparing your entire physical vessel for what is coming. So run those programs. Meditation, right? Connecting in a very conscious, intentional way with God, source, universe, all that is, whatever it is that you call it, and asking for clarity, asking to be shown the truth, asking for the veil to be lifted, asking for a greater level of understanding, affirming that you are ready to receive that greater level of understanding, affirming that you are ready to receive that, you know, greater level of knowing, and allowing that to come to you. Sean's coming in.
I just want some advice. I want to get the testimonial done in under 24 hours. Should I just make a video, or should I do it live, like in Quantum Health Infinite Wealth?
Well, there's like 60 people on the live stream with me, so you probably should just film the video and then drop it in.
Film it in a video and drop it in?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you, oh, you're just live streaming on?
My personal page, yeah.
Oh,
just kind of talking about all this stuff.
Oh, cool. Okay, thanks for letting me interrupt. Thanks, people.
So Sean, another fucking crazy Healy thing. Sean burned himself on the tailpipe of the Harley. Those of you who've had tailpipe burns, you know how this is, right? Like, it takes weeks to heal. It was blistering. It was like this big and red on his ankle, like huge Harley tailpipe burn. And he put his Healy on and ran his Healy immediately after it happened. And it's literally like, it's gone. The blister's gone. Anyway, he's filming the thing, but it's crazy. Like, there's no red, there's no inflammation. This was yesterday. He woke up pain-free. He's like, he can like touch it like this, and there's no red. Like, it's so nuts. So anyway, he now wants to go do his testimonial about it. So that's what he was coming in to ask about. Stop with the video. Audio's good. Okay, good. Yeah, that's definitely what's happening. So yeah, my throat, it's like crazy shit that's happening right now. And yes, I want to address this. So Casey said, has meditating been difficult for anyone lately? Yeah, so this is what's happening. This is part of what's happening. And so again, if you have a Healy, run a deep relaxation program while you're meditating. That helps tremendously. Try meditating in smaller bursts, like 5 to 10 minutes. You're still going to be getting the benefits of it. There's a lot of information trying to come in right now, to everyone on this planet. There are as many positive energetic forces at work as there are negative ones right now, right? And so, you know, your ancestors, the spirits, the guides, the guardians that are around you, they are all trying to communicate with you. And so what's happening is, like, there is this bit of interference, there is a bit of overwhelm, there's a bit of frazzledness, because so much is trying to access your energetic field that it just can feel like overwhelm. So know that if you're tired, if you have anxiety, if you're feeling agitated, if you're feeling anxious, like, these are all really normal feelings to be having right now. You're being bombarded with information, both physically and energetically. So I will be talking about healing Healy as well. Okay, so I'm gonna just give you a little bit of information on what I feel is happening and coming right now. First and foremost, there's going to be a major disclosure from the government coming before the end of the year, and they're preparing for it right now. My belief on this is it's going to go one of two ways, and it's hard to even say this, but it's like, they're either gonna tell the truth or they're gonna lie. And they're either gonna tell the truth and things are gonna dramatically shift, or they're gonna lie and they're gonna use it as a manipulation. They're gonna use the disclosure as a manipulation. What I truly believe is happening right now, like in this moment, is this timeline. We're at another one of these forks in the roads. And I talked about this last year. So if you watch the videos from last year, I really feel like we need to put together like a compilation of those videos. I'm gonna make a note actually and have Mallory do that so that we can just like put them in the Wealth Witch channel so you guys can access and go back and watch them. Let's see. I also have a clearing session coming up. Let me make sure. Let me see what time it is. Okay, 30 minutes. So one of the things that I talked about was this split. There was this timeline split essentially that happened. Like that there was this shift, and that things were going to go one of two ways. That people were going to wake up, or that people were going to go back to sleep. So we saw this happen with coronavirus, right? Like completely. This literally played out where I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's coming. It's huge. And there's going to be a group of people that if they get on the train right now, they're going to be even more awakened than they were before. And then there's going to be a whole other group that are going back to sleep. And I was like, and the thing that I don't understand is I can see all these spiritual people, all these leaders go back to sleep. And at the time I couldn't figure it out. I was like, how could that be possible? Like, how are all these people that are awake going to go back to sleep? And it's brainwashing. It's programming. It was activation. This coronavirus thing came in and it was like, yep, bam, all these people back to sleep, right? Like it took out so many people back into the program, back into fully buying all in on what we're being fed, how we're being conditioned, how we're being programmed. So I could very much see that separation happening. I could see the fork in the road, right? I didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but I could see the fork in the road. It's happening again, but it's happening right now. So this fork, it's happening now, right now. And there's another division taking place. But the thing is, it's like, I feel like, and it's funny because I was like, and those people that are gone, they're just gone. Like they're not, it's not like, it's so crazy to me because people kept saying like, oh, are they going to get the chance to wake back up again? And I was like, I don't think so. Like, I think that they're just going to be all in on believing that this thing, whatever this thing is real. Like, and that, you know, and I'm not saying that there's not a virus, you guys. I'm not saying that there wasn't a virus. That's not what I'm saying. But there was something bigger at work here, at play here, right? And the programming part of this thing that happened and the power grab that happened as a result of this is an entirely different scenario and situation. So those people are just back in complete, total brainwashed programmed land. And I don't believe that they're going to come out of it. But I do think that there were some people that kind of hung out in the middle that didn't go either way, that were sort of like, I can feel that something's not right. I'm not going to go all the way back. I'm not going to go all the way over here into like back to sleep world, but I'm not getting on the disbelief train, right? I'm not fully going over here. So we've still got this group of people that are here in this middle ground, right? There's another event coming. It's actually happening now. I can feel that it's happening now, where the awake people, the people that awakened through the virus, the people that have awakened and are awakening through this huge divide, social justice, social issue, civil, I don't even know what to call it at this point, but through all of the racial tensions that are happening in the world, it's creating a divide, and these people that are awakened are becoming more awakened, and some more people are sort of waking up. And I think it also is this way where like some of these people that I don't know, it's this middle ground, right? There's another division happening, and more of these people are going to go over here, and more of these people are going to come over here. And I believe that there are going to be 2 to 3 more events between now and December like this, that are going to create even greater division, even greater splitting off. And you don't want to be over here. You want to be over here. You want to be you want to be part of this collective that is waking up more and more and more. You do not want to be one of the ones that's getting put back to sleep. Here's the thing. I think if you're watching this live stream, I cannot imagine that you're even over here. So you're over here on the right with me. You've already got on the train. It's left the station, right? Or you're in the middle. And if you're watching this, I mean, I just don't even think it's possible that you're in my field and you're not in the middle, okay? So if you're in the middle, I want you to know and be prepared and be aware that there are events that are coming that absolutely will have the potential of splitting you off into the left. I'm not calling it right and left for any particular reason other than I'm using my right hand and my left hand, okay? This is my left hand. So there are events that are coming that are going to keep you, that are going to either split you off over here, and some of you that are on this live stream that are in the middle that you're like, I can't imagine ever fully going back to sleep, are going to go back to sleep. It's just going to happen. And some of you that are in the middle that you're on the fence and you're having some doubts and you're not quite sure, you're going to become fully fucking awakened. And the trauma, we're already experiencing it, right? The last 6 months have been traumatic for this collective. For sure, people have PTSD, people are traumatized, like it, every day there are traumatizing events that are happening on this planet right now. These events that are coming are going to be even more traumatic than what we have experienced up until this point. So you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared for feeling like you're going crazy. You need to be prepared for feeling like you're living in I don't think I'm gonna go into all of that here. Again, Wealth Witch Telegram channel, gonna be going into way more detail, way more information. But I believe there are 2 to 3 events that are gonna happen between now and the end of the year that are gonna create this further division. There is going to be a major disclosure that comes, and I believe it's one of 3 things. Facebook is not the place to talk about what those things are. I'll put them in the Telegram channel. I believe it's going to be one of 3 things, and it may be a combination of those 3 things, but it's going to absolutely rock this collective consciousness of this planet. And all of the things, I mean, I guess it depends on how awake you are, right? Like whether you're like, oh yeah, I can totally believe and see that would happen. Or some of you are gonna be like, there's no fucking way that's gonna happen. But I also think some of us were like, there's no fucking way that the entire world will be shut down and there will be no international travel and all countries will have locked their borders down to people from other countries. We just can't believe that would have happened, right? What's happening right now, as far as I can tell, so we've got these events that are coming, right? We've got these events, these split off events that are happening. Right now, something huge is taking place, and I don't actually know what it is. I don't know what it is that's happening, but something is happening right now that is going to determine whether this, probably the biggest disclosure of all of these 2 to 3 events that are going to happen. And I say 2 to 3 because I think it's possible that they're going to combine some of this stuff together. The biggest of these events right now, there's a decision being made that's going to affect the timeline of this planet. And that decision is either going to create and facilitate a disclosure that is authentic and real and true in nature, or it's going to facilitate a disclosure happening from a place of lies and manipulation, which is what I think we've seen to date this year. Like to date, We have real events that have been happening that have then been being exacerbated and manipulated to control us, and to create desired outcome and response from us. So this is what I think is happening right now, and it's part of why I think there's so much feeling of constriction and confusion. There's literally, we've got as much negative as positive interference happening right now on the planet. And so there's a bit of this battle and war as to what's coming next, regardless of whether this happens in an authentic and somewhat positive way, or it happens in a way that's designed to control and manipulate us. They're going to be mind-blowing, life-changing events. And regardless of how it happens, they're going to be events that traumatize people. We cannot continue on as a collective the way that we are going right now. It's not possible. We cannot survive like this any longer. And so there's a shift happening. There's a shift occurring. There's a shift happening and occurring at a much greater level than simply our physical existence and reality on this planet. So, I can't wait, because I know either way I'm going to be able to handle it. And I know either way that part of what I'm here to do is help and share and guide all of you through this process, to the extent that you want it. And if how you want it is more at a superficial, high level, easily digestible way, then I'm going to be delivering it to you that way. And if you want it more in a intense, in-depth, where you might question if I'm losing my mind sometimes way, come join me in the Telegram channel, because that's where you'll be getting all the real and raw. But it's time to prepare yourself. And so what is aside from the things that I've already told you, what is the thing that I believe is the most important for you to do right now? The thing that I believe is the most important thing for you to be doing right now is to stop bullshitting yourself about what your purpose is on this planet. To step fully into the work that you're meant to do on this planet. And this may sound so trivial, but this is what I was telling all of you at the end of last year, where I was like, the time is now. We need you to be doing your work in the world, because when this stuff happens and when these traumas occur, there are going to be so many people that need whatever the very special gift is that you came to this planet with, that you're here to deliver. Nobody else on this planet can do that the way that you do. Only you have the gift that you came here with. And it is unique to you. You have a unique energy signature that is unlike anybody else's on this planet. And we need you to step into that. We need you to own that. We need you to stop rejecting it. We need you to stop ignoring that you are here for a bigger purpose. We need you to stop ignoring the fact, or being like, I'll get to it next week or next month, or I've got to finish this online course first, or I've got to finish working with this coach first, or I'm in the middle of, no. Like, the fucking time for all of that shit is over. It's over. It is time for you to now fucking step into your power. We need you doing your work in the world that you were meant to do. Your fucking corporate 9-to-5 job is no longer acceptable anymore. It's just not. The soul of this planet is at stake. The soul of the other beings of this planet are at stake. Your work is needed here in the world. If you are watching this live stream and you are listening to this live stream right now, you are not one of the fucking sheeple. You are not here to just fucking sit on your ass and wait for life to happen to you. You are here to do your fucking work in the world. And now is the time. And there is no urgency like the urgency that is in existence right now on this planet. We do not have time for you to fucking sit around with your thumb up your ass anymore, waiting for the perfect time for you to go out in the world and do your work. Each moment that you sit in a place of complacency, each moment that you sit in a place of non-movement, each moment that you sit in a place of non-action, you are harming other beings on this planet. Period. The negative effects that you are creating, the negative ripples that you are creating by not doing your purpose work, are amplified 10, 20, 30, 40 times at this point. Because of what is happening on this planet right now. It's no longer an option of waiting. It's no longer an option of getting yourself ready. It's no longer an option of you being comfortable. That just doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't exist. The planet is in crisis. The people of this planet are in crisis. And if you think what has happened in the last 6 months is bad, you haven't seen anything yet. What is coming is so much. It's so much more impactful. It's so much greater. It's going to be so much more traumatic than what has already unfolded. And if you think you can sit around waiting right now, you are sorely mistaken. We need you on the train. We need you all in. We need you all in on your purpose work. And I do not want to hear the fucking excuses about not knowing what it is. You do know. And if you can't fucking remember it right now, then you better get dedicated to connecting and communicating with Source until you've got the crystal fucking clear direction on what you're meant to be doing. Because if you don't, it's complacency. If you don't, you are at fault for what is happening in the world. I didn't really know it was going to go that far down the train, but it's true. It really, literally is true. Like, if I had made the decision to not get on this live stream today, which I really didn't want to, if I had made the decision to just go ahead with my masterclass that I had planned, that was going to be a small group of people that I was going to talk to about how to sell soul-aligned offers during, times of social unrest, if I had just done that instead of getting on this live stream, which is what I was directed to do, I would have been liable. I would have been liable for any and all atrocities that happened to every single one of you for not receiving this message. And all the people that are negatively impacted because you guys didn't hear this message and then you didn't get the foot up your ass and then you didn't go out there and do your purpose work and create your ripple. So in fact, I am responsible for such a greater ripple than I can even imagine because there's 58 of you on this live stream right now. So that's 58 of you that wouldn't have received this message, 58 of you that wouldn't have gone out and stepped into purpose, 58 of you that wouldn't have created the ripple effect that you're going to create in the world. So literally, I don't even know, tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of people's lives impacted by me not showing up and doing my fucking purpose work. Negatively impacted. I'm not okay with that anymore. And I cannot be okay with that. And I cannot continue to censor myself and not share the information that I'm receiving with you guys because some of you need to hear it. Some of you need to know what's coming, and some of you need to step fully into your fucking purpose work and go out in the world and do it. Karen, not feeling connected, not feeling like you're in a place to do your readings, it's no longer an excuse. The leaders of this planet, the energy workers, the people that are here to help guide people through this process, they need to fucking know what their shadow is. They need to understand how to harness their shadow and make it their superpower. You have got to get your readings out in the world. And you need to help people tap into that darkness that's inside of them. Because we need that darkness to battle the darkness that's coming at us right now. Love and light ain't gonna fucking cut it, people. It's just not. So I'm gonna start calling people out as I see them on this live stream because there are so many of you in here that need to fucking be out there doing your work. And if you don't, you're liable. If you don't, you're fucking liable. Our darkness is our superpower. When we shine the light on our darkness, it is our superpower. And we need it. We need that darkness. We need it. We need to harness it, and we need to use it as a weapon against what is coming at us. Yeah, Lisa, what about you? She's like, crap. You and I both know You're here for something so much bigger than what you're doing. And I believe that you've been exactly in the right place at the right time up until this place, because it has put you in a position of being fully financially supported to be able to step in and do the work that you're here to do in the world right now. Shit's hitting the fan. It's been hitting the fan. But the fan that it's about to hit, I mean, I just, and the thing is, like, you can feel it. You feel it at a soul resonance, cellular level, that what I'm telling you is true. You know this shit is coming, right? And you also know that the time is now for you to step into the work that you're meant to do in the world. The people that heeded this call when I came out, and these were the same type of live streams. It's like, you've got to step into your purpose. You've got to do your work in the world. You have to quit making excuses. And as much wasn't at stake, as much wasn't at risk back then, you guys. So it's so much greater now. I don't even know how to express it more to you, but it's so much greater right now. The people that heeded that warning at the end of last year, they're thriving right now. They are thriving. They are thriving in all areas of their lives. They are awakened. They are mentally stable. They are prepared for what is coming. They are financially thriving. They have they have completely opted out of the program. They are operating in a place of financial and economic freedom. And they are not being manipulated by the system any longer. That is what I want for each one of you that is watching this live stream. That is what I need for each one of you that is watching this live stream in order for you to create the impact that you need to create in the world. Which Healy programs? I'm running Deep Cycle 2, actually. I'm running Deep Cycle 2. I'm preparing. So that's, you know what I mean? So, like, I'm going through a huge metamorphosis right now. And like, I'm going in to face whatever the physical shadow is that's happening in my body right now. I'm doing a Cambo ceremony on Sunday. And so I'm preparing myself for that extremely intense cleansing and detox, because I know that my vessel needs to be pure to receive all of this information that I need to give to you guys, right? I know that my vessel needs to be pure in order for me to help you deconstruct your slavery consciousness, and be able to deal with what is coming. And I know how important my role is in Healy leadership. I know how important it is that we get this device into as many hands as fucking possible right now, because this is literally, this is the tool, right? Like, if our cell phone has been this incredible tool that's kept us connected and helped us be able to operate our businesses and kept us connected to each other, like, we are truly moving into states of six-dimensional consciousness. Here's the spiritual internet, guys. Here's the reach out and touch someone. We're connecting to each other through a collective consciousness field that is facilitated by this device. So those of you that were at Spiral Practitioner Training last July, when I did a six-dimensional consciousness web connection between all of you, many of you are on this live stream right now. This is how it happens. This is how we're collecting. This is how we're connecting to each other through six-dimensional consciousness, right? This is how we are elevating our personal vibration and frequency and consciousness, and as a result, creating a ripple out into the world that is affecting, raising the frequency of the collective vibration and consciousness of the world. This is how we're healing our physical vessels so that we can be a clear channel for the information that needs to come through us. This is how we're healing our physical vessels and our spiritual and emotional states so that we can be in a place of being able to step fully into our purpose work in the world and go out there and do it. Some of you, this is your purpose. Some of you right now, Healy is your purpose. It is your purpose to get this device into as many hands on this planet as possible. Like, that is what you've been called to do. Some of you are on this live stream. Reading some of the Combo is actually not an ayahuasca-like journey. It is not hallucinogenic, or it doesn't tap you into that field of consciousness that ayahuasca taps you into. It's a healing ceremony. So it is a poisonous frog. It's secretions from a poisonous frog that is applied to burned points on your skin. That creates a healing and cleansing, an intense healing and cleansing process in your physical vessel. And people definitely do have spiritual experiences while using it, but it is not an ayahuasca type journey. It's a much more painful, cleansing, brutal cleansing, brutal purging experience. So that is what I'm moving into. Yeah, breath of life is amazing, Beth. Yeah, and then the frog kept showing up because I've known that I needed to do combo for so long. Like, it's been calling me. And literally it is the Healy that facilitated it. Like, once I got the Healy and I started running programs and I started elevating my consciousness and my vibration and my frequency, the Healy has made it impossible for me to deny the things that I knew I needed to do. I'm back with the trainer. I'm back on a meal plan. I'm going in to do this Campbell ceremony. We're going to be moving into doing some other ceremonies, but I have got to protect my vessel, right? I've got to get it as healthy as possible. It's the time for excuses are over. I have to clear my channel. How many programs do I do a day? Well, one of the things is that I was doing a lot. I was doing 3 to 5 programs a day. And I think it's very difficult once to get your Healy to not do that. It's really hard to be I want to run all the programs. I want to do all the things. But the truth is that less is more. And so I'm limiting myself to, right now and over the next week, I'm only doing 2 programs a day through microcurrent. I am doing some additional things, I'm doing some aging and weight management stuff that I'm conducting the microcurrent into water and then drinking it. And then I'm running some programs for the collective as well. But as far as programs that I'm actually running into my field with microcurrent, I'm doing 1 to 2 a day. I think everyone overdid it in the beginning. Okay, so if you are and here's the thing, you guys, Healy's facilitating all this work. It's just happening. And there's no mistake that I got introduced to this the way I got introduced to it. I've never ever done anything like this before. I'm yep, I'm all in. Every day I'm more in. I mean, every day, the miracles and synchronicities that show up in my life every single day, they are undeniable at this point. I just got my fast start Healy actually this week. Everyone on this planet needs this device, and that's just it. I have no qualms sitting here and telling you that. I would pay, now that I've had this experience with Healy, I would pay $10,000 for this device, literally. And you can get the level that I have for $1,500 in the United States right now, right? It's insane. But it is changing things that much, and it is here to facilitate this next level of our journey. And it is because it is just a tool. It's a device that helps us elevate our frequency. It's nuts. It helps us tap into greater states of personal awareness. I've built this incredible team of 1,500 people right now, and they're thriving. The people in my team are thriving, and we're providing the most amazing education and tools, personal development, personal growth tools to the people inside our organization. We will continue to do that because we are here to change the world. We are the ones that are here. We're here to be doing this work. And if you can assist yourself in elevating your consciousness to step into a greater sense of purpose, what would you do for that? What would you do to have that? for me, it's like, I can't imagine living life without this device at this point. And I know what's coming as far as like product and development, what's coming down the pipe, and how amazing the new programs and frequencies are going to be that are being released in continuing to help us with this expanded consciousness and awareness. So I think I'm going to leave this one at that. I've been on for a minute, and I actually have a call in 3 minutes. I have a clearing call in 3 minutes with a client, and I've had no food. So I'm going to run downstairs and shove some food in my mouth and get on this clearing call with this client. But I love you guys. Come join me over in the Telegram channel. I'll just drop that for you one more time. Oops. No. If you need to know more about Healy, go to the person that introduced you to Healy or talk to you about Healy first. If nobody's talked to you about it and you want to know more about Healy, message me. I will get you in, I will get you involved, I will get you up and going, I will get you dialed into all the resources of my Quantum Health Infinite Wealth team ASAP. So I think that's it. I love you all. Have an amazing rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you are in the world as you're watching this live stream, you're watching the replay. If you're here and you have something that you want to say that you really want me to see, or you have something a question that you have, please tag me in the comments so I don't miss it and I can come back to it. Those of you that are connected to me in Telegram, just message me privately in there if you have any comments or questions or anything that you want to say about this live stream. I am here, I am accessible, and yeah, here's to just showing up and going and doing our work in the world. And I love you guys, and you're all here to lead. You are leaders. You are here to make a difference. Please show up for yourselves and for the world right now. Please stop making excuses. Please stop allowing your excuses to prevent you from the work that you're here to do, because it's so needed right now. We need you. We need you now in this moment. Love you guys.